Hey guys, so yeah, um, I think I'm live, most likely. We can actually get started, I guess. Let's just get things set up a bit, then it should be good to go. Something like this looks nice, I think. Don't know. Increase the font size a bit. Yeah. So we were making a text editor, right? Yeah. And this was basically it. The thing we had achieved so far is rendering a box, right? So if I say, okay, let me compile and I can show you. Like, we run this build.bat, we get this window with this box, and yeah. So and the all the code we have in source, and right now in devs we have only uh, I think glad, right? So we'll see if we want to use CLM, then we'll probably use CLM. We'll see that. For now, mm, let's start from where we can, like, where we left, and go into the source folder, right? And maybe main.cpp, just see state of our code, right? So we had abstracted everything. We're creating this main window, and then we're creating this OpenGL. We're loading the glad function. We are loading basically the GL functions like OpenGL 4.6 using this glad loader. Then we have abstracted everything in, like, a render, like, example. We have this renderer class, right? And in this renderer class, basically, we have, I think this should be fine, right? Shouldn't be too small. All right, so in this renderer class, if we see, right, we have a lot of things abstracted. Uh, for example, we have this create shader function that we can use basically to create shaders. The thing being only vertex and fragment shader is that those two will probably be all that we need. And then we are sketching out this render class. All right. The first thing I would probably like to do is I rename this to something like a sprite renderer, right? And accordingly here also we can call this sprite render, right? So that we have a clean thing. So that being done, now we can define a sprite, right? And say that we have a sprite. And the sprite will have, let's say, float x and y, obviously, right? So at this point, I'm thinking of should we use vector? For now, let's just have something like a vector, right? We actually can um, then maybe float x y equals to 0.0. That's good enough, right? So we can have, and we can also have, let's say, vec4. And in vec4, we basically have Having a constructor, I don't care about having a constructor right now. Don't care. This can also be 0 for my sake. So in the sprite, we can have something like let's say with to position and then with to size. That is a good thing, right? But what I was thinking is we can have like a simple vec4 called a rec, right? And it will be by default 0. And we can have a, let's say, vec4 uh, color, right? RGB, right? So these two we can start with, right? So and as far as this indices is concerned, we can rename it as what indices, right? Let's find out. Copy this. Like here also it should be what indices. And in the render also, right now I just doing this, but it should most likely be what indices or size. We're going to change it, but okay, it's not a vector. So let's keep it as X. We're going to change it anyway. The first thing I want to do is I want to have some kind of instance rendering going on, right? So we have our VO, VBO, EBO, and this, but we can have these three in the same line, right? And we can have like editing this with the shader program. Maybe going to present this would be our what do you call it? We call it index buffer object for IBO, right? And we can have our sprites like vector of let's say sprite, all the sprites, right? And by default, we will have no sprites. Now that you have these sprites, we can have a function later to create sprites. Actually, that will be good. This word data can be inside index. I don't care. Yeah, but here we would also like to generate one buffer for, let's say, our index buffer object, right? And this, like yeah, in the render we'll handle that. But first, we should have some kind of, let's say, a max sprite count kind of thing, right? We'll have some constants here, our constants. So one of them being that size maybe, and it can be like 10,000 for now. It's a good value. Yeah. So for the sprite class, we can have this when you're initializing this basically, right? First of all, this is fine, but we also need to set like all the sprites to 0. So probably I will get this, but this it can stay here. But first of all, when we're initializing, we should set VO to VBO and all these things to 0. Also, we should set like shader equals to 0. That being done, now what we want to do is we want to reserve the space in the sprites maybe. So sprites equals to maybe default, and then sprites that the reserve matches max batch size. Right. So it can be more than that, but at least when you're creating a sprite, we will have this size, right? So sprite will have this size. That's the idea. Uh, yeah, like at least I'm not allocating again and again until I reach 10,000. Yeah, yeah, that's it. So yeah, we need to also generate do this for IBO, right? If like do it right here. So I'll say that GL bind buffer uh, IBO, right? And for now, this is fine. And I'm not going to provide any data, right? So that is fine. So maybe I'll have this in something like this. Maybe. I don't know. Does this look good? For other buffer data also I do that for array buffer data. This is what we are setting basically. That's ugly. Let's have it as it was. Rather, um, we have our sprites, and that's it basically. So at the time of rendering, we can load the data, right? So for now, just load the data directly. We'll think of it later. But essentially, we need to push this vector of sprites into the this buffer, right? IBO, right? So that we can do. You can just say that yeah, if it's not bound, then obviously we'll bind buffer IBO, and then yeah, so sprites data and this, that's good. That's actually good. This is what I want. Or we need to add a to do here also. We can check that later. And yeah, so we have basically our buffer sub data here, right? Then it binding the VO and we're restoring everything. So here, after I do this, I would probably want to do the attributes for the sprite, right? For example, this rectangle color, right? So we can have those, right? So yeah, so let's do that. GL enable what exactly where to, right? Yeah, that's good enough. And then see, that's good enough. But also, what I want is GL takes sub uh, active devices, right? Yeah, that's what I want. I want the second and third index to be like per index, like per instance, where this will be once and this will be all the instances, right? For every instance, this data will like slide through. put the correct values. But this data will be basically common to all the instances. This data will be different to all the instances, basically. You can think of like each instance as one rectangle, right? So with these two parameters now, we can actually, after we initialize the renderer, we can just say that render sprites equals to, I can create one sprite, right? So yeah, so I have a red square. Then I have a blue square, but right now this positions are all, let's just make them like 0.10 f, right? Why not? This also like 0.1, right? You can have a 1. I don't care about these others right now. You can have two sprites to test, right? Probably I will have it something like this, just to be a bit organized, right? We have the rectangle color. And I also don't want this red square thing, right? So okay, yeah, got the issue. Hmm. The issue in that like this. This is our first sprite, right? Which will be at the bottom, and then maybe we can have another sprite. And this one will be, let's say, 5 5 with, say, 2 2, right? We'll get this thing space fixed. Right now, I'm not caring that much. Yeah. So yeah, these two sprites that should be rendered, right? Now we need to modify the shader program as well, I guess. So yeah, but before that, we are going to draw elements, I think, right? Is there actually any error in the code? Okay, you guys don't like this, right? Yeah, got it. Now you will say that you don't like vector IOStream. Yeah, it's very hard to satisfy. Anyways, so we're not going to like draw elements now. We will use GL law elements instance exactly. So now we're drawing the amount of sprites using these indexes, using these triangles. Check works. But now we can go for like I don't know the shaders, right? So we wrote them in like render resources. So here we'll have two more friends. The second and third, which will be for instance rec, and let's say instance color, right? For now we'll also export the instance color, right? or we can call it, for example, pin, right? Call this also pin, and call this also pin, and it will say that our final color is equals to our flag pin, right? Now, as far as the position is concerned, right, in this are vec4s, right? So as far as position is concerned, right, we have let's say vec2 pos, which is actually that this what it's saying is correct, right? But I want to explain it. So I have this vertex pos, right, which can range between minus zero point 0.5 to zero point 0.5, right? So basically wherever our quad is, that quad needs to be shifted, right? That quad needs to be shifted by the amount of the instance x y, like yz, right? So that thing we need to do first, right? So it has to shift by this, right? And then comes the size part of it, right? So how does the size part affects? So for 0 0, like for the left side, if you're thinking of it, the left 2 points, like if you have let's say 4 points, right? Here is P1, here is P2, then here is P3, and then here is P4, right? So what you essentially want to do is these are your and this needs to be shifted. Okay. So one thing is for sure that um these all will shift, right, by some amount, same amount, that x and y. I'm only shifting x direction, but you can think of it as like both x and y direction, right? Something like this. We are shifting, right? Now we have shifted it. That's what we have done here in x and y direction. So the shift is most like this. And then these 2 points, they can stay as it is. But these 2 points, they needs to go further away, right? So that's what we need to do. And how are we going to do that? That is a question, right? So that is actually easy to answer. The thing is that for this point, for example, right, its position is just the vertex's position, whatever its position is, um, followed by this, right? But for this point, it's more like whatever this position is, right? So plus yeah. So we yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah. So this is UV, right? And UV is something like this is 0 0, this is 0 1, right? And this is like 0 2, and this is 1 1, right? UV. There is a comma in between every point. 1 0 1, right? So also like 1 0, right? So x-axis is fine, right? X-axis is fine, but y-axis I need to have this one here, right? So y-axis I need to get the swap. So it will be like vert uv uh, dot, I'll chisel it. So xy will become like y. I need to be set to minus y, right? So yeah, that we can do it later also, but I will just do nothing here. So effect to size is vert uv dot but uv, right? And then you say that sz dot y is equals to 1 minus this, right? So you flip the word y garden basically, right? So now that we have this, we can just say plus, and we can have uv sz times instance dot zw, the size, right? So this should give me the correct position. I might be wrong, but yeah, we can check that out, right? Then instead of hurt position, we can use this position instead. So now let's say we what was it, text editor, right? And we try to build, right? So it built, something went wrong, but we got this too. So we are doing some progress. It may not be the right direction, but we're doing some progress, right? So yeah, mm, we got to. Now we need to see why. So first thing that I can observe is that we got a shader program. So the shader compiled successfully. Uh, yeah, and we have this. These two should be of a red color, right? But here it gave didn't give red, right? So that is one thing. The second thing is like, let's say I have this as one, for example, right? First trick have a small size, let's say. So here we run that thing, right? It's, it's called this tilt. Okay, I don't like this tilt. This tilt shouldn't be there. So we need to tweak this a bit, but we will get it done. So so first of all, we have the UV, right? And UV, we are assuming that the bottom point first is 0, 0, right? That's how we assume the UV to be. But is it really like that? That thing we need to check, right? In the renderer, maybe we can have a look, right? So this should be the bottom point, right? That is 0, 0, and then this point, right? This should be here, this point. So this should be actually 1, 1, I think, right? And no, that is fine. This is negative. So this should be here, right? So here the y should be 0, right? And x should be 1, if I'm not wrong. And the same thing, here it's fine, but here it's the x that is positive, right? If we just fix that only, and if we run this, now we get something like this, right? But still, the rectangles look so big, right? So that you need to fix. Um, so yeah, and about our sprites, let's start them from, let's say, point, minus point. Let's have only one sprite and let's move it. Let's check. Let's say our sprite is at 0, 0, right? So our sprite is at 0, 0, right? And it has a 1, 1. So if we just say that, right, then what we get? We get this thing, this abomination, where clearly this side is bigger and this side is smaller, and this is not like one, right? So that is why that's what happening. We need to check it out, right? So here we have this size, right? We have this size, and we have the width and height, right? So first things first, I would like to have the aspect ratio, but yeah, that thing also we can also do later. Um, the proportionality, like if this is let's say 0.2, right? So it should be more wider. Is that is happening or not? I don't need to check once, right? I don't think that is happening. Yeah. So that is no, that is actually happening, right? But this should not be this big, right? This is 3:2. Something is wrong. Okay, we need to find that out. So yeah, about that, right? What we can do, and also that black color we need to check once, right? This thing. Let's get this out first. Why the color is not going properly? To have this instant tint, right? And this is an out fragmenting, but we never outputted that thing outsourced, right? So we also need to say fragmented this first. So if we just do that only, we should get the colors, and from that we can get a basic idea, right? Yeah. So what I actually want to see is in zero point 0.5 scale. So it should be half, right? 0.5 and zero point 0.5, right? And also, why not use 1 instead, right? Because that makes life more simple, right? So we will use but it will be twice the size. Uh, so whatever my quad is at the center, right? But I want to push it. So maybe this whatever the vertex position I get, right? I want to push it because it's at the center, right? So yeah, hi bro. Yeah. So what I would really want, right? Is to have this renderer, right? Mm, we will add just 0 0.5 and 0 0.5 offset, and we'll see, right? So this the position that we have here. We add a two of let's say 0 0.5 and 0 0.5, right? With that only, we go up. So most likely we need to go down, right? So this will be like minus. And right now it's from -1 to 1, right? So it should appear from the uh okay, this is not looking right. Let's just not do this part, right? Only let's add the position, and let's see if the rectangle is shifted correctly, right? That should be a good start, right? So now we have this rectangle here, right? But it should be here at this side. So x obviously I need to plus, but y I need to minus, right? So here I can just say plus this thing. We just to do that, and we get to the bottom quadrant, then we are basically good to go. exactly. That's right. So now that we have this in the bottom quadrant, now we can know we know in fact that when we were drawing this thing, we were using 0 0, right? Now if I move like in x coordinate by 5, right? So the whole length is 2. So ideally it should s- be like that exactly, right? And I can pull this up also a bit, maybe let's say if I do this would be something like minus 0.5, right? I'm using the original coordinate system that OpenGL uses, minus 1 to 1 here and minus 1 to 1 here, right? For now it should be fine. Yeah. So what happened is that when I minus 5, I went bottom. Yeah, I have reversed it, right? I have reversed it. I have reversed it. So because I have reversed it, yeah, I'll do that later, that mapping later. But now I need the size, right? So yeah, so this is 0 0, right? So x axis wise, our sx, right? Sx is just our for this one where it is, it's fine. For the other one, which is here, right? That length is 1, right? So the length is 1, right? Minus 5 to 5 is 1. Not here, but here. Specific thing, what specific thing we are building right now? We are trying to create a text editor, but we're not there yet. Today I'm trying to like render some text. That is the goal. Yeah. So that is the goal that we're going to do. Mm, yeah. And for that, I'm going to use OpenGL, right? So the position part, okay, not that worried, but the actual way to scale, right? That is this thing, and this scale basically what I'm trying to do is 4 of my points, right? There. Oh, yeah, I got it. So we have this thing, right? We have 0 and 1 here. We have 0 0 here. We have 0 and I'm sorry, 1 and 0 here, right? And we have basically 1 and 1 here, right? So we have 1 and 1 here. Sorry. uh, yeah. So now if I multiply this, right? So if I say that here at this point I don't want any shift to happen, right? At this point I don't want any shift to happen. So I can say that um basically this thing multiplied by the scale, right, is z. Uh, this thing and this thing basically is the length, right? I'm missing something. It's not correct. I'll check into it. I need to do some maths, but we can solve that. Right now, I'm not worried about it, and the thing completely went out. So yeah, that's not probably it. Yeah. So we know that this is 0 0, this is 0 1, right? So and we flipped it, right? We flipped the y. So now this is 0 0, this is 0 1, this is 0 0 1 0 and this is 1 1, right? So when this is multiplied by width, right? This 0 is multiplied by width. We get what? We get 0 basically, right? But here it will be W, right? And then here it will be basically and for this will be 0, right? This will be W and 0, right? Which is correct. And here it will be 0 and 0, right? For this vertex, right? After that positional transition, because this part is just the position transition, right? So the actual position. Hmm. 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 Actually, like it's fine. You can use instance rendering and stuff. Like having a vertex buffer also works if you correctly run it. But yeah, forget about it. For every instance, right? We are rendering these four vertices. Now these two vertices, they only concern with the XY shift, right? But not the position itself, right? So the XY shift, like even though the XY shift is there, the vertex position should really, I mean the SZ, if we just use that instead, right? Because it's 00W and yeah, right. So if we just use that only, right? We get a blank screen. That's fine. We'll restore this to like original one. So yeah, that was nice. We go from HCPP, right? Let's start at the 00 again. So we're not lost. Right. And I want this to be stretched two cells and this to be stretched one cell. Right. Okay, just to do that. Do you see anything? Uh, no. There is a syntax error obviously at line number 12. And I don't know which line is line number 12. No. That makes sense. But if we build this, right, so we get something like this, right, which I don't think is correct because and yeah, also let's strip this part for right now, right? Let's strip this part for right now. Let's say something like this, whole giant thing. This is it. This is W. Right. So yeah, it's kind of full. Um. mm, mm, Yeah. So maybe I should grab a paper and pen and just do the maths rather than just sitting here and predicting stuff. But the idea is that essentially, if we just know everything, we just have this size, right? Instead, we start from there. So we have the position, right? What I'm imagining is that position is nothing but the vertex position. But that position should like if I just multiply it with SZ, right? So what will happen? like is it time instance like dot zw and then I offset it by xy. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. If I just do that, we get this. Yeah, I was unnecessarily thinking a lot of wrong things, right? So now let's try doing this, right? So we have this like small rights group, right? And then let's say for let x equals to 0, x is x, then maybe 20, x plus plus, right? And yeah, like for y equals to, for let's say hint y equals to 0, y is less than 20, and then y plus plus, and then we can have like sprites dot pushback, like not sprites but render dot sprites dot pushback, right? And yeah, this will be int, right? Maybe we can shift this a bit, right? So that we have a better visibility. I'm trying to come up with a like syntax format in which we will be able to do more. But I want to start from like let's say minus 0.5, right? Yeah, I want to start from there. This is a double, so I need to cast it to float. That's fine. And for this, right, and this x, right, we don't want to use x, but we want to use something like uh, float underscore x equals to maybe x by 20, and float underscore y is y by 2. So rather than that, we're using from 0 to 1, right? Okay. And all these cells will be of yeah, 0.5 is good. Right. Let's go with that for now. And here let's use for red, let's use x, right? Why not? And for blue, let's use y, right? And let's try to build it, right? So yeah, it failed. So we need at least C++ 20 standard that we can do later if needed for like big data objects. But for now, I can just do this. It should be fine, right? So yeah, if I build it, right, I get something like this. Why is this so small? That is a question. If this is just 0.5, am I scaling this too small? That's one of my worries. Yeah, we are probably scaling them too small, right? Because of this position being multiplied by s z, right? So what I was saying earlier, right? That why not just use this like this 0 0 is nothing but actually let's use the full like from 0 0 to that kind of uh, like sprite, right? So basically this 0 0 will become basically here minus like x will be 0, but y will be -1, right? and here x will be like here x will be 1, and y will be x is 0, so y will be 0, right? But this one, I want the x, like I'm trying to address the fourth quadrant here. So for this one, right? So x will be 1, right? And because y will be minus 1 point, I think, right? It's no, for this one y will be 0 actually. For this one y will be minus 1, right? And finally, for this one, right? This one x will be 0, just 0, right? And y will be what should be y's value? Y should be, because it's 1, so it should be 0, right? So don't know if that makes any sense, but I will assume that that makes a sense and go with that belief. That's fine, right? If we just do this change, right, and we remove this tested altogether, because I'm squaring it, that's I'm sure. You get this same ugly guy who actually starts from -5, right? 0 axis. So if I just let's just refine one quadrant, then you can come back here and do it later, right? So yeah, that's what we are going to do, right? So for now this part we don't care. We have only this thing that we care about. So yeah, for the sprites, like this, paste this, dot define, right? And this will be 0. This will be 0. Okay. This will be 0 also, and this can be 0 also. Unexpected file found end of the comment. Is it not compiling for a long time? No. Here it generated. Here it didn't compile. Okay, it didn't compile just now. Line number 82, right? So if you go to line number 82, right? So yeah, this is opposite. My God. Yeah, what with that? We run this. We get this. This stupid abomination has come here. For the coordinate I am using is okay. I'm subtracting 0.5, right? So it was actually correct, right? I subtracted 0.5. It came here. Now it should be at center, right? Yeah, it's at center from here. Like I'm guess I'm concluding from the top point, right? And if I now just remove the y, right? Let's say you're not 0.5, but you're of size 0.5 and 0.1, for example. So how would you look like? Yeah, that's good. And now I want you to start at, let's say, a bit up, like 1.0 maybe. What I want you to start, right? Your start position to be. If I do that, yeah, you go out of the frame. So maybe 0.5 I use. Right. So I'm giving you this offset, right? And you should be pushed by this offset, right? So now, yeah. So now it will say build.back, right? So you can see that it's pushed to here. So we'll check that later. So now that being the case, right? We can actually do this thing again, right? We'll try to render a small grid, and from that grid we will correct everything else. Yeah. So I don't have a script. Sorry. So just going as I'm going, right? So we have something like a DW, right? Basically float DW, which is like 1 by 20 maybe. Right. And basically every time I'm basically going 8 times DW plus a very small offset like 0.01 maybe. Yeah, that looks much better. And y times also I'm going by dw, right? Just to know what it's happening, right? And we also have this offset, right? 0.1 0.01, right? It's a small offset. And then this two will be simply dw and dw, right? Use VS code. Why, man? I can use VS code. I don't want to use VS code, right? This I don't like. This I don't like. I use Vim. I'm using Vim because I like this background, and for small things it doesn't matter. I'm not doing some serious development stuff, right? I will I will be keep on working on this until it gets done. But the whole idea of this exercise that I'm doing is to get some chilling, right? At least, bro. I use VS Code always uh, for my office stuff and these things. So. If you want to VS Code, I can use VS Code maybe. But it doesn't really matter. Like, why I'm saying this, like, what do you need? You need a file tree maybe, or you need some fuzzy search. We have those things. We have some syntax highlighting as well. So why, right? And it's not like we can't execute commands. Okay? So right, we can execute commands. Okay, so it's not like that. I need to go to that screen. You get it. So yeah, if you want to check VS Code, I can open on VS Code as well. Like I think I have group box here as theme, right? So, yeah, and basically like the key bindings are also same that I'm used to use in VS Code, right? So yeah. By the way, you know that you can press Alt and you can use left and right arrow, and you can basically like switch through your edits, all the edits you have done in VS Code. We might use VS Code like maybe when we need to debug, right? We need to use a debugger, or we can just use MSVC like the yeah, Microsoft Visual Studio as well. That's fine, but like I don't like I like a bit little bit transparency. That's just it. I just want to get some healing. I don't want. Uh, I'm not working seriously. Otherwise, I just copy this page to ChatGPT and I just ask it to do have told me in 1 or 2 minutes, right? And also, like I would have taken pen and pencil and I would have like did the math, and that would have been all, right? So 1/20 is really a small number, right? That we agree with. At least I agree with. But let's say if I just do something like this, but I am interested in knowing, right? So yeah, I just do that. I don't understand why like all of them are huddling here, whereas they should have their clear x and y values, right? We can also like ah yeah. Sometimes I'm stupid. Yeah, and so now I should get something like this, right? And we can do that original offsetting, right? Going point 5 f this side and point 5 at this side, right? If we do that, and obviously we need to add a 0. We just do that, right? And if we build this stuff, we get something like this, where these are all small quads, right? Individual quads, around 200 of them, right? And yeah, like what is even cool is that we can get this thing right, this whole thing, and every time on the update itself, we might um, paste it, right? So before rendering, we do this stuff, right? And while we're obviously we need to set the sprite batch to this, right? Empty the sprite batch, so we clear that, obviously, and we might have some kind of like left time. Maybe. This main window has a delta time. I don't think so. But for now, we can just increment by a small value, right? 0.001, and we can just like loop it back, right? When it's 1.2, this way loop back to it. And for the green channel, right? For the red, for the green channel, um, we can do something nice. We can use the elapsed time, right? To get a sense of the time as well, maybe. And yeah, so that's one thing. The second thing is that DW, I want to make it a little bit smaller so that you can actually feel that yeah, this is, I don't need this. This actually, like, just adding and subtracting doesn't make any sense, right? I should actually should have used DW instead. Have used DW a bit instead, right? So if I just do that, right, we just try to run it, right? We get something like this. Isn't it good? Right. And because it's going from 0 to 1, right? You can make it oscillate between, right? For example, we can make it oscillate, right? So like now, right now it's 0 to 1, 0 to 1, 0 to 1, 0 to 1. Hello, yeah, hello. Course type F. Do you want to say something? Uh, yeah. So mm, yeah. This elapsed time right now. This value is like from 0 to 1, right? But we can just for example from elapsed time, right? We can subtract we can have a new elapsed time where I subtract it, right? I subtract from it to 0.5, right? So it's between 0.5 and like 5, right? 0.5 to 5, right? And then I can multiply it with let's say 2.0, right? F, something like that. So now it's between -1 and 1, right? It will jump. It will go to 1 and then it will go to -1, right? So now what I can do is I can say that if elapsed time is less than 0, maybe 0f. I want elapsed time to like not here, but maybe like we can do something like this, like float ef is equals to elapsed time less than 0. If that's true, maybe we want to use elapsed minus of elapsed time. So it will either way be positive or it will be elapsed time, right? So if we just do that, I think we should get the like a loopy kind of thing going on, right? Yeah, it just stopped. Why? So that I can check, right? Oh, we have to use EF right here instead of elapsed time. But elapsed time actually stop. That I need to if elapsed time is greater than 1, right? So elapsed time becomes 0. But then I am also doing this, right? I'm doing also doing this. So it's more makes sense to just say float EF here, right? And use EF here without bothering its time, right? And here you can see use EF, right? If we just do that, then and we don't, yeah. Why I'm not using this? Why I'm feeling like using mouse today so much? I don't know. So yeah, there are some errors that I need to fix. Line number 59 and 57, most likely redefinition of EF. Yeah, that one is an easy one to fix. So that one we can right away fix, right? So yeah, here the problem is this, right? And we can now like build this, right? And we have like it's not what I expected. I'm doing very wrong maths today for some reason. Maybe I should have sat with a pen and paper. But ideally, it should rotate, right? It should go from 0 to 1 and then come from 1 to 0. 0 to 1, 1 to 0. Why I'm doing this? Like it's kind of complicated math. Not complicated, but like it left time is continuously increasing, right? It's never decreasing. So what I actually need is something. But I'm calculating EF, right? So when it goes to 0, right? I just want an oscillate, it, right? So float delta change maybe, right? And delta change can be like point. Why I'm doing this? It's a bit off topic, but like that's the fun of it, right? So yeah. So every time this happens, I don't care about elapsed time, but I change. This is like 0, 0, right? And maybe we can have also float is shared is something like maybe 40.0f, right? So we can start from even further, like maybe 0.8 minus x-axis and 0.8 down the y-axis because we have flipped to the y-axis, right? So if we just to do that, right? And this S Z instead of this hard-coded 20s, right? We use S Z. I'm gonna use some regex replacement for this, but I'm not feeling like it. Just a few places, it should be fine, right? This is just in this Z, right? We just do that, right? And basically, when the elapsed time is great, like the elapsed time is 1, right? Or like we don't need all this, right? EF equals to just this, right? Um, so yeah, you can just say that if f mod, right, of elapsed time, f mod of elapsed time. So if for f mod, I think we need yeah, methods. Yeah, most likely. If f mod is not directly used, it's directly used. No? But f mod was there. Okay, anyways, f mod is not that complicated. We can do that. So we can say that if elapsed time is greater than 1 or elapsed time is less than 1, then what we ideally want to do is we want change to be multiplied with -1, right? That's what we want. And we want elapsed time to change by delta change, right? So yeah, the spelling is wrong. So yeah, elapsed time is right. We just do this gameplay once and then we go back to like rendering font because now we have a batch renderer, right? Right, right. And on if we just do that, let's see what kind of mm, abomination we get, right? And also, no, actually we need EF, right? We need EF. We need EF, but we need only this, right? So we only need this. Log EF is minus elapsed time or elapsed time, right? So if we just do that, then we get something like this. Isn't it nice? Maybe not to you, but to me. This will become even smaller, right? And now if we run this, right? Y, let's just add some to Y, right? If it's add for Y. So for Y, let's just add um maybe 0.5. Right. Now if I run this, 0.5 will be too much. That's why let's keep we'll fix y. Like we need to fix y actually before we go into rendering the font. But I will at least load the font before I do that. And before that we will have a little bit play. Then maybe from next day I will actually take the keyboard input and render the fonts. So one more thing that I would like to do is let's say this I don't want to have all the sprites pushed, right? So at some point of time I want to have like if like um our sprites, right? So render dot sprites dot size. This thing is greater than, let's say, our this thing divided by, let's say, uh, SF times SF, right? This thing, right? It's Z thing is Z, right? If this thing is maybe greater than our 1, right? So this is now between 0 and 1, right? And if this is like this is between 0 and 1, right? Mm, So is greater than, let's say, elapsed time, right? Or EF, let's say it's greater than EF. Then I just want to maybe continue. Yeah, and rendering and clearing, do it every time. I don't care, right? If I just do that, and for Y, let's just add a small offset like 0.2, right? So now if we just try to see, okay, everything is gone. That's nice. Everything is gone. Right. So is okay. I think we got some error, right? Let's just format this whole stuff. So this while it ends here, this while ends here, this if ends here, this for loop ends here, right? So if like we don't render obviously, and we don't clear sprites here, we just continue. Copilot, right? So yeah, so yeah, let's just do this minus, right? And now we'll get something like this. So we are running into someone making something tangentially related to what I am currently making. Yeah, that's nice. We'll get started with the fonts. But before that, I wanted to like have the sprite renderer working, basically, right? So right now we can like do a bit more. for the cleanup, and then we'll load the front and finally get the white thing sorted out. Okay, I don't think that this is what I should do. Hmm. Yeah, but others are straightforward. Um, so yeah, that's one thing. The second thing is that yeah, so that's one thing. The second thing is that yeah, we need to test, right? How good we can get that thing going on. So let's just do that with that animation only. So first of all, right now we are doing this, right, but this is not what we are supposed to do. We are going to loop, right? So for let's say uh, in I equals to 0, I is less than sprites dot size by max sprite batch I plus plus, exactly. And with that, what I want, right, for every time I am offsetting by I, that is correct. But how many I am drawing, that is also important, right? So basically you in 60 to 32. Let's go count equals to or BC for batch count. Batch size. Just check. So batch size will be like STD minimum of this. Wait, that's correct. Right. This whole thing. Okay. Like how many are remaining? Plus how many are remaining basically? So how many basically this thing I am using twice, right? So I can just grab this, right? And I can say that you and to honestly offset. And like does not matter like if you do it this way or other way, the compiler is smart enough to like optimize the code till that point. Yeah, but this is just for my readability and maybe like reducing the lines a bit, size of the lines. Yeah, so offset. If we just do that, right, and std main is not defined, that's fine. Just use mean instead. Mean is not defined. Okay, so we just do this. Define mine, or it's a mean, right? Mean takes AB and this is exactly. So with that macro that we have, we can use like SP mean, right? And we just do that. The thing it should not have any problem. It's not having a problem, right? But now we're going to increase the size of rects, right? The total number of rects in this sprite batch. Um, so yeah, let's do that because testing the performance of a system is also important, right? Before we jump into other stuffs. So one thing that we need to do. Okay, this code is looking very spaghetti, right? So is this is also rendered. This is also rendered. Why do we have to? It should be the main, right? Main CPP. It should be this, right? And in this main.cpp, what we can do basically is the font size. Uh, let's keep the font height. Doesn't really matter. Does look like it's jumbled up, but that's fine. let's adjust it a bit. So, maintainability optimization at beginning, totally agree. Yeah, like I just want to know that okay, whatever you have done here, right? How much stress it can take, right? At least like how much I can safely push it. If I don't know that how many quads I can push it, then at a time, then like maybe like we need to apply some other strategies when we're trying to like reduce the number of entities we want to render, for example, right? I'm curious what the experience level you have to code this editor. Uh See, in my office work, I basically do Python. Okay, so yeah, like standard standard email engineer, whatever they do, doing some data modification, transforming the data, creating pipelines, that kind of thing. Actually, I do in my office. Some machine learning, right? Implementing some KB retrieval, similarity search, implementing different kind of agents. So it's pretty boring stuff. That being said, like I have a good experience in coding in general, right? I have like I have experience. Like I know what I'm doing. That's all I can tell you. That being said, like is the number of entities the bottleneck of its number of GPU calls per frame? No, actually, see, how many GPU calls I am making, right? How many GPU calls I am making per frame? So it's just this the total number of entities divided by this sprite batch. So right now I am just making one GPU call per frame, like one draw call if you think of it. Okay, like before I draw, I am just uploading this like every time I'm also uploading like every time before I draw, I'm uploading the whole data to GPU again and again. I'm not even using some cached data right in the GPU. Those optimizations we can do. But I want to see that even in this basic instance render, right? The basic instance rendering that we have implemented. How many and how many we can take, right? So yeah, let's get that doing a bit, and then I will chat, right? So yeah. So what we can do is let's say this 40, right? So right now we have this sjet variable, so we can just directly do things from sjet, right? So in sjet I can push this to like for example 100, right? Yeah, maybe 200, right? So 200 times 200, I will have like four batches, I guess, right? 200 times 200 is like four, and then four zeros after that, right? So I'll have four of the batches that will be rendered on each render call, right? Basically this thing. And this is I'm just pushing the data. So this data pushing part, I can totally like cache it. Like when I'm like say the actual editor will be rendering, right? So I will have some kind of a viewport for like every tab of that. Like for example, for this tab I have a viewport. I have this tab I will have a viewport. So in that viewport, I can basically select only the rectangles that I want to render. So I myself know that I'm going to render only a few thousand words at max, right? So right now I was testing for like where how much 40,000 in this test I will be testing around 40,000 words, right? So we can see like what kind of performance we can get, right? That's the whole point of it. So yeah, and the y and the height there is a problem. We'll fix that also a bit later. But yeah, that's the general idea about it, right? So sometimes you can see that only one half was rendered, right? This half was rendered, but then after that, this additional text was not rendered. So I don't think that's some other issue. Can you share what resources you read or blogs you follow to have good knowledge of OpenGL and CPP? See, you need to yeah, like in general you need to practice. That's the only thing. Like you can see like a lot of videos in YouTube. Like you can like, when I was starting at first, right? There was one guy called Cherno. Like he also makes videos right now, but I don't like feel them as like he makes good videos. Like he makes very good videos, right? So yeah, but at some point of time you understand that okay, what this guy is doing, I can do that. Like I'm using here OpenGL, but it will be fine if I went for Vulkan or like something else. Like a few days ago, I was testing like SDL3 itself. So yeah, SDL3 they provided their own unified system of rendering stuff, and it was interesting. Like they finally put a GPU, like SDL3 GPU is there, right? And the same goes for like any platform, like whether you are coding for a web or anything, right? All that matters is that how much you write your code yourself. That's what I say. But apart from that, like for learning resource, I think like YouTube and ChatGPT and AI's Medium or some other blog that you subscribe is I think enough, right? Like I read some Medium articles and like in my Google, like in general, like in my Google says there comes a lot of articles, so I know a few things. Like for example, right now you know what's the biggest AI hype that is going on? It's something called an HRM, right? A hierarchical reasoning model. So they did what is that like after all these years of like going to transformers and everything, what they did is they went back to RNNs like recurrent neural networks, and then they added like a high level module followed by like a few low level module followed by a high level module, like not exactly like this, but like when you unfold the like the time like because like RNNs loop through time, so if you have to unroll it, so when you unroll it, you something like this. And the cool thing is that like multiple low level model, then a like high level memory, and then multiple low level processing units, then high level processing units, and it actually it actually beats like most GPUs, like most like for example ChatGPT or your Claude or these guys are being beaten by this small model on specific tasks, like for example Sudoku solving and these things. So yeah, one thing that I like doing, and like I think that I have learned a lot by doing is reading research papers. I guess like whatever research papers are coming out in YouTube, you get the news. Then just go to Google Scholar and you can search for the research paper, right? So that's I think very like nice way of getting it done. Okay. That being said, I don't care about this like not rendering and skipping everything, but I want to get everything rendered right now, right? But still I'm getting only this one thing, right? So something is going wrong here. We are rendering only like one batch. That is my assumption, right? So that sounds a good way to do it. Yeah, like you can watch like hundreds of videos, but at the end of the day, I feel like reading stuff makes it like it makes you actually grow your knowledge in depth. That's what I believe, and I might be totally wrong, but that's it. Like you can just add a print statement here. Why not? That rendering batch, like uh, rendering this batch, right? And just by doing that, you can we do that. We get like rendering batch one, two, three, four. So it's rendering. The problem is maybe the offsets, but you get the point, right? We're rendering very fast. Like we have a very good renderer at this point, to be honest, right? And we will check the delta time and we'll know that for sure. But I'm wondering why is it rendering only these many quotes? Like it should render much more. Like 200 is there, right? 0.1 in place of this, let's say 0.001 or something like that, maybe. But that's not what is it. So obviously we're pushing this many sprites, right? Uh, yeah, we are clearing, and then like we're doing a lot of heap allocation. Maybe that's one way of looking at it. But yeah, like we reserved with a huge space, so that should be fine. Mm, and constantly putting data into the we're constantly putting data into the, like we're doing a lot of heavy operations, to be honest, right? Every time we're emptying the vector, when we're completely filling the vector, then on this vector, when we're calling this render, right, we're looping through like single batches, right? You saw that. Now just let me make sure that the right batch is being drawn, because most likely that is the issue. So for the buffer sub data, right, GL buffer sub data, we need to check its definition, right? I think we can get this too from beginning, right? So yeah, just to have some background music. I'm not very cheap guy. Would you try keeping the magic numbers in place with help of debugging? See, here is the thing. Right now, this is not in any way production level code. Okay, not in the slightest. Okay, so everything needs to be restructured. Everything needs to be done properly. But the thing is that those everything needs to be there first, right? So I'm going in a mixed approach. So I know that like in every stream I will get a little bit done, but I also have that belief that like after let's say 10 or 20 stream, you will have a like you'll have a very good editor with tabs and everything, right? Maybe syntax highlighting and everything. So yeah, like do you know how like syntax highlighting and this auto completion and these things work in VS Code? They have something like an LSP. So these LSPs, they basically listen to some particular events, right? The events that being posted. So we have to make this some kind of an event-driven system, right? So the main reason of doing this like this, right? This rendering, the whole thing, right? This renderer, I basically this whole thing, right? This whole thing is one thread, but this update logic and this events, I will from this will be just hooks to push to some other thread, which that thread pool executor will maybe create different jobs on your keystrokes. Maybe it might be changing the text. It might be selecting, like giving you the size and list and all those stuffs, right? So that thing we have to do, and for that we need some kind of a like parsing as well, right? For at least one language that we are trying to work on that editor. So yeah, like there are a lot of fun things we can do. Yeah, and also like I'll do it like I'll do this like ongoing project. So as long as we get like at least typing and like basic editing and file opening and doing this one, na, we will start some other project. Maybe we might make a game like maybe Pokemon like or something like that. We can make a game in parallel. And like I want to have like 2 or 3 projects doing covering different domains, and like every weekend, at least on Sunday, and if possible like Saturday and Sunday, streaming, like doing those cyclically, right? So that what I'm hoping for my personal life right now. So that's about it. I think I had a lot of talk. Now I think I'll just get this thing fixed and work ready, right? So the first thing is, yeah. So where were we? If we just save this, right, and if we just build it, we have this kind of misery, right? But most likely, we are rendering too many codes. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons. But even yeah. So this excess, right? For now, I'm just removing this offsets, right? And we just have this DW, right? And this DW is nothing but your 1 divided by size, right? So x-axis 1 divided by size, y-axis y 1 divided by size, and they have like minus 0.5 and minus 0.5 there. Right. Yeah. Well, actually, um, yeah. So now let's with that, right? We're pushing all the sprites and we're rendering. Here also, if we see, okay, the main concern is that for every loop, right, we are supposed to mm, yeah, for every loop we are supposed to render the next series of sprite, but that thing I think is not happening, right? So maybe we can also print the batch size, right, just for debugging right now. I like printf style debugging, but it depends on the situation. Like if I'm working on a professional lab, then I would probably do stuff, and we can get a bit break also. After this, we can look at some different things. Maybe like we had a basic sprite batch. Maybe in the next video we can load the front and do that. But my question is this: like, why only this up? It should be up to this now. Like, if let's say this is no, not that. Obviously not that. So let's say if it's like for example we have like 80 for example, right? Then if we do this, right, we get this. I think the pixels are so small. Like the surface we are rendering, the pixels are becoming so small, and also like that's why they're being not being drawn on the screen, right? Because or we can just check like for our sprite batch will only render let's say 100, right? Let's say our sprite batch will only render 100, so that will make this scenario more clearer. Yeah. So the problem is with the sprite batch itself that I have confirmed, right? And yeah, obviously. One second. Right, I am rendering only 1,000, right, at a time. And also I want to get this information seen. So the other thing that I want to know is the offset, right? So that offset is also important to me. So presently, and this will be like offset, right? From which offset I'm going to render, right? And that offset is being used where? Here, right data and this. Yeah, so this is not right. This is not right. This is not right. It should be no, like because each sprite is of type sprite, right? Each type is of type sprite. Mm, but it's taking a pointer, right? So what we can do, we can look at buffer subdata once, right? What buffer subdata means. So GL buffer subdata. So we will always fill it from 0. That's what we should do, right? So yeah, it takes the target, it takes the offset, it takes the size, and it takes the data pointer, right? So let's just confirm that. So this buffer sub data, it took the type, that is correct, this thing, and it took the offset, that is correct, that is this thing, right? Then it took the next thing, that is your size, right? The size is correct, this only, right? But the data, right? The data is how many sprites I am away, right? So the simple thing that I can think of, right, is that we have these sprites, right? And we can just say that okay, we want the offset, right? We have this offset. So this is the right sprite, right? So we can, how about we just use its location? Mhm. So why not, right? So when offset is 0, for example, it will be the first sprite, and so on. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I need another. What is this thing? This thing is here, right? So this is here. This is here. Yeah, it's fine now. Why are you crying? Oh, some data I. Okay, that makes sense. So you're implementing tree setter on your editor. Yeah, maybe. Don't know. Like I'll just get this editing done, then it will go back to a side project a bit. I'm planning to have at least one machine learning kind of project and two graphics related project, and one maybe like might try to make a new language. Like these are the immediate goals that I have for stream. Does that sound good? Hmm? I don't know, but yeah. So like I really wanted to I really want to like get into streaming this time, but the kind of lazy person I am, I doubt I will. Okay. Now, for example, if I were doing this for here, right? So you have 0, then we have 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 5,000. So the this is right. This is right actually. This is actually right. But then if the data is being passed, right. So here is the thing. This offset is always 0, right? Because this offset is 0, and I am going to read, right, this batch size. What the hell I was doing? I'm just going to read this batch size number of elements, right? Whatever this batch size kept. Either it will be this number, right? If this is the minimum number, or it will be the remaining data, right? Yeah, like I'm in personally I'm a little bit of a like introvert kind of person. So yeah, I'm trying to like, get into speaking with people at least on online, right? So something has changed. Previously we were seeing the bottom part, now we are seeing the top part. Yeah, so we need to see something that is not the bottom, not the top, but the whole thing, right? So after we okay, yeah, I am very stupid. Does that make me happy? No. Does that make me sad? Maybe. But I'm very happy. So if we have the shader program, right? We can straight a binder shader program. No issue. Now we can have this bound, right? At this point, right? At this point here, for example, for the VO. For the VO, what is bound at the last, right? That is going to be bound for that particular state or the slot. For example, GL array buffer, IBO was the one that's bound last. So ideally, IBO should be bound here. So even if we delete this line, right? Even if we delete this line, right? And we run this, we can still see the same output, right? And the data is being updated, right? Data is being updated. So there is no issue, but we shouldn't like spam print. So let's remove this spam print. also. And this binding, right? This binding I can do here because I know that the data is being bound. There is no issue with it. But once the buffer is full, I am supposed to draw it, not like after 4 times filling up the buffer, I am supposed to draw it. So that's what I told you about like the blender. It's just sitting outside of the for loop. So maybe we can just I don't know. Maybe we can go to the top and we can just get these things formatted once, right? Fine. Yeah. And just let me look at the overall thing. Okay. So yeah, it looks good. And like really, I'm not going like full productive mode. Get every answer out. Like how you typically do in like office job. Okay. But it didn't work. That's fine. Because life is something sad. Yeah. But we are at a good place where you can do. So I think that this is the last thing, right? This should be a straight also. This should be also a straight, right? I'm doing something batches, right? Because may not be you are always rendering those, right? I can just simply increase the batch size and it will be fine. But that I'm just trying to do it for a small set, right? That is the idea. So we can remove this to do also because we are looping, right? So we don't bind array buffer also because VO has already these two bound, right? So what I'm basically doing is yeah, from the start of the buffer, I'm filling up to this batch size number of elements, right? So that size I need to specify also, right? Yeah, I'm specifying the size. So the offset I've specified, the size I've specified, and then the data. The data also I've specified that this is the pointer. So yeah. Then where is the error? Do you have any idea? Oh, there is no error. Nice. So now we can really test it, right? And also like let's get the FPS out. I think it's about time we get the FPS. Right. So we can use Chrono for that. I don't want to write the code, so maybe like just write a function hash include Chrono and mm, or you can just yeah, why not use Chrono? So event maybe float, right? Float get times down. Right. Yeah. So duration plus blah 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 this, right? So microseconds, right? So I'm trusting this guy, right? Because whatever it does, it's returning this now in some way, right? Doing duration cost on microseconds, and then getting the count and dividing it by this. Yeah, that's totally fine. And yeah, the duration is time since block always. So we can have right load current time equals to this, right? Or like float actual elapsed time, right? Sorry, we're not doing this animation anymore right now, but that's fine. So we have this float elapsed time here, right? And now this delta change also we don't need. So with that we can get every time we can get the current time, right? and then I can calculate the dt, right? Delta time, which is nothing but current time minus elapsed time. So and because we have this dt, right? We have this dt. We can do all sort of stuff with dt. For example, we can get the fps out, right? So like you went the 32 fps will be something like this, right? How many frames? And we can then say maybe window. What do you call our window? Main window, right? So title. Do I have anything for title? Yeah. Okay, so can have string. Um, right. And then for the title, we can just simply say this fps string. fps right, dot c string. If is no longer there, it's just this. Maybe 0.5 so that it's a bit brighter. Okay, the APS calculation is completely wrong though. You know that we don't have this little amount of space. Mm. So what is happening is that we have dt, right? Let's just print the dt. Your microphone is terrible. Yeah, I'm still trying to get the gain correct. I'll get that fixed. Right. It's not about the microphone itself. It's more about the OBS Studio settings, and I don't want to like speak loud in front of microphone. I'm using actually a good headphone, Bluetooth headphone that I usually use for my calls. But this the problem is that this OBS Studio now this guy is has some terrible sound settings, and I'm still trying to get through it. Right. So yeah, maybe like this should be a fine gain. I don't know. This might be a fine gain. Yeah. Yeah. See, English is not my native language. So that being said, we're not getting seconds like right. Times damn seconds. Right. Because we went in seconds. So yeah, it is wrong. Or we can get the microseconds, right? So in a second, there are millimicro. So three and then three. Yeah. So this should give me the seconds, right? So if I just print the timestamp, what am I getting as current timestamp? And now, oh yeah, obviously. Yeah. get timestamp. Now what kind of sadness it has? Oh, yeah, I got it. So you got to get timestamp. You need to increment the elapsed time as well, right? Um, yeah. So most likely so to let's forget about this right now. Let's just say elapsed time equals to current time. Then most likely you can like print f fps not fps but printf like only the elapsed time. And by the way, point two means that you want to print till 2 decimal places. All right. So that being done, you can try to run it to get okay. So it's batch printing. That is very bad. But that we can't do anything about. What you can do instead is yeah, set the window title. So load FPS is this, then window dot main window dot set title, something like this. Right. So obviously this string, this. Then we have this here. So it's title dot c string, right? And this function somehow I named it title. Don't know why, but that's what I named it. So yeah, if we build it right, we get an infinite title. Okay. Just if we just set the elapsed time. See, I'm actually like doing better than yesterday, yeah, rather than using some like debugging a right code. But today I'm not in like, a good optimal shape of writing good code. Like I'm doing a lot of mistakes, silly kind of mistakes that usually shouldn't do, right? But what about the elapsed time, right? Oh, elapsed time, like how is it incrementing? That is my question, right? If that makes any sense, we should have used in standard way, and then at the end we should have casted to float, but that's fine. That's how things are. So yeah, if we just build that right, so we can see that it's increasing, right? And it's like 1 second. You can see right, the second is correct, right? So yeah, the elapsed time part is correct. Let's get back to that good mode aesthetics. And yeah, now it's time to do it. Right. So I'm getting the time in seconds. That is correct. Right. The timestamp I'm getting it's correct. So delta time is between the last frame and the current frame, right? So then this FPS, right? Um, if I just print a DT next, right? Because why not? Let's not print anything here. Just is the console. Why not print in a running loop? But let's say I want to see the DT right delta time that is being taken because maybe the delta time is not coming properly, right? So that might be one bit. So but we're getting a good FS. That is first here. Yeah. So as you can see that DT is coming as 0. Like most of the time DT is coming as 0. right? So because we have a very high FPS, I guess, right? If we enable some kind of vsync, right? Or like, for example, if we just even like this thread dot sleep, if I just do this right, HTTP this thread sleep for let's say 16 milliseconds every time. This thread is not a member of HTTP. Yeah, so thread is included. They still think that this thread is not a member of STD. No, certainly you don't. So at least we have like a simple 60 milliseconds of delay, right? So we get the current time. We extract the elapsed time. Then I set the elapsed time, right, to current time. That's good, right? So yeah. Now we are getting some numbers, right? And with that delay, we can now get the FPS, right? Because title does not like change that fast. Right? It's on Windows. The change of the title. We can just put FPS here right now, right? Hopefully we will be able to see some FPS. Right? Still going to infinity, right? So first things first. This DT, right? This DT. It cannot be zero. It should always have a 0. Something like that, right? A small offset added to it, so that it's never going to zero. And also, I don't want to print this every time, so maybe I can have a like viewing 60, like the old ways, right? I can have a 60 this for uh, frame count, right? You can just keep on incrementing the frame, and only if frame count modulus maybe 1000. So after every 1000 frame, maybe I would want to do this stuff, right? So yeah, like when we generally we do things like in a small incremental way that I need to get changed. I need to have some kind of at least like not high speed pace, but also not like very low speed pace that I need to have, I guess, right now. Yeah. But FPS frame count modulus this is zero, and also let's print the frame count as well. We don't have it in fancy right now. So frame count modulus this is this, then we just get the FPS out, right? Right. And we also introduce a delay. We just build this. The title remains my window, right? But are the frames going too slow? One second. Yeah, and so one delta time is very fast, as you can see. The next one is 0.0. So one is coming as zero, right? Uh, yeah, this is not right. Why are you behaving like this? So we are sleeping for 16 seconds, right? Every time when we're getting this current time, right? And then from that we are subtracting the elapsed time, right? So and then we're setting elapsed time to current time, and then we are going to sleep for this time again, right? So what I can do is and like and is also available, you know. You don't need to always do this. Um, PT is let's say greater than some threshold. It should be at least greater than this threshold. I'm taking like useless time doing silly things. So like DT is like for 0.06. Like it's very good good speed actually. But why are we not getting this done? Oh my god! Now if we do, why aren't our titles being updated? I mean, if we just do this, like this frame count has some issue. I'll see that later. But it should not have an issue. Yeah. So with that delay introduced, we are at 15 frames per second, right? Because we are adding a 16 millisecond delay every time, right? So you can multiply 16, but like if we have let's say only 1 millisecond of delay, right? And my screen is like 144 hertz, I think. I don't know, like my laptop screen is this one window. I don't know, like this smaller screen. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, somehow, how many we are drawing? Yeah. So first things first. We have like let's say a huge number of sprites, right? We have like 1,000 times 1,000. So like 1 million sprites, right? And every time we draw 10,000, let's say 20,000 sprites, right? So we get basically the drawing done in 5 iterations of draw calls. Now the thing is that we are pushing also 1 million data entry in the vector continuously. So maybe we'll just get that outside, right? So yeah, it will take too long to push into vector. I think based many iterations. So what I'll do is I'll get this thing out. Right? I just get this thing out and I put it here. Let it be there. We just don't sleep anymore. We don't sleep anymore. Right. And DT needs to be a bit bigger. I'm getting 15 FPS, but the reds are too small, I guess. Right. That let DW be, let's say, one. Right. Right now I don't, let's say 1,000. Is it so much? Yeah, it's so much. Yeah. Now if we do the build, right, the FPS whatever is showing is wrong, man. That I can. So you have around 1,000 here. Okay, these lines are this is due to anti-aliasing stuff, right? Like not anti-aliasing, but like getting into, but mostly like the quads will be of like 1 pixel size, very small quads, right? So this portion I can't get it. Like this is what it's supposed to be, na? Delta time, current time, and I say, and this is timestamp. I'm getting everything this timestamp the first time, and then I'm just updating the time, and then this all thing is happening, right? But yeah, this FPS whatever is showing is not correct because like even if I do 100 now and I go this, right? I still see this 15, right? Whereas I essentially just made the size small. So, or like this frame count is actually increasing, right? Mm. Yeah. So, so you're getting this, right? So 1,000 and that this FPS is wrong. So yeah. So yeah. I know. We have this DT, right? So we can write something like a float frame time, like, and that should be zero, like the proper way of doing this, right? And then we have this DT, right? So we'll keep on adding like DT to frame time. So frame time plus equals to DT, something like that. And then when frame time is greater than one, right? So when frame time is greater than or equals to one, then what we do is and we also increment frame count for every frame, right? And then we know that how many frames we have because that is what the frame count is, right? As simple as that. And as far as this once this done, right, I need to set frame time to zero and frame count to zero, right? So that is one way of doing it also. Frame time to zero and frame count to zero. Yeah. If we just do that, right, and if we don't fall into any error, right, now we get a actual feel of the FPS, right? So we are running at like 38 FPS right now, 39 FPS, right? And we are rendering around like 1,000 times 1,000, so 1 million sprites right now here. Okay. Now that also I want to be a sure bit here. So let's say if we have let's say 100 sprites. So for 100 sprites, I have a very high frame rate, but I'm not seeing anything. Why is that? Mm, so that might be uh, so I zero. This thing can if this is not a greater than batch size, then it will be zero, right? So I need to get that also. So turns, let's say int turns is equals to this thing. Uh, right. And right, if yes, exactly. This is what I wanted. So I is less than turns. Yeah. Now we are getting things. So yeah, for 100 sprites, we are getting around this right this FPS, and we are also pushing we are also pushing the data every time, right? If we have some kind of caching, for example, if we don't keep on clearing and pushing the data again and again, right? And we have this data once somewhere around here, maybe, right? If we have this data only once, um, yeah, this set should always be no, this set should be here. This is just a dirty way of doing things. Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, DW is where uh, from here. You don't change actually, so you can be like I can be const as well, but that's fine. Yeah. So if we just have that like no, we're not pushing anything, right? If we're not pushing anything, so yeah, so we'll be like that. So you're getting around like see good amount of FPS. Like here due to the screens you refresh rate this FPS is 600. But on my other screen it's like 3000 like 1300 something like that, right? 1300 something like that. Uh, yeah, like that. And yeah, this screen sucks. Okay, because like the screen is being updated from my adapter. I don't know. Like in this screen, it's showing this, right? But in the other screen, right? If I keep it and if I just take a screenshot, right? Like something like this. If I take a screenshot, right? And on that screenshot, if I open, you see. So yeah, but let's consider this screen, right? And let's just now check that real here. So how about we have like let's say 10,000 times 10,000. So that will be a huge one. 10,000 times 10,000 is too much, I think. So 1,000 if I have like it will be like 1,000 times 1,000 is like 1 million, right? So if I let's say I have 8,000 times 8,000, let's say. So I will have essentially 8 times 8 that is 64 million, right? We will have something like 64 million, which is quite a big number, to be honest. Like we're trying to render 64 millions, and we are trying to render in like 20,000 batch, like the batch of 20,000 per unit. If we have that kind of a like huge requirement, yeah. Now it's flowing. So even in that case, we are getting like a 2 FPS kind of thing, right? I think it's totally messed up right now, but that's nice. So if we have something like let's say like 4 million or let's say 16 million, for example, right? we're rendering 16 million, and every time on the GPU call, we are sending like let's say 40,000 of these guys, right? 40,000 of these warriors, small quad warriors. Then we get an FPS of like 6. Okay, so that's quite good because like if you think of it, right? Um, we are doing a lot of memory transfer also, right? Here, but I'm happy with it because like I can like when I'm rendering like 1,000, right? 1 million sprite is like too much. 1 million is like I have a particle system basically, right? And they all we can get it going on. We can get it more optimized, but it's a task for later, right? But right now I am sure that even if I have 1 million particles, right? Even if I have 1 million, I can see safely have 60. And also this screen has a little bit like slow FPS. I don't know why. Like in my laptop screen when I'm doing it, it's much more FPS. Okay, it's around like 80 FPS, 83, 80 something. Here it's just 60 FPS. Okay. So because that monitor has a higher refresh rate or maybe. Mm, yeah, but yeah, here we are like it's good. Like it's good. And I think for batch size, I would prefer like 10,000 to be good. So 10 draws for like 5 draws for 1,000 is good. Like 2,000 is what 20,000 is what I will compromise for one batch. 20,000 good enough, right? Then we can have maybe like such 2 or 3 sprite renderers, and using that we can target different GUI groups like for text and for other rectangles and this. Yeah. So yeah, that's the next goal. On the next episode, I'm going to do some text rendering. So in this episode, what we achieved is something this. So we have like around 60 FPS, and we are successfully rendering around like good amount of quads. To be honest, like 1 million quads to be exact, right? 1 million like SZ times SZ for because X is going SZ times and then Y is going XZ times, right? And like this amount of memory transfer is also I think should be good enough, right? So even if it's here, every time I'm updating the vector, it should not be like that huge of a deal. And now we can have like viewport culling and all those stuffs, and we can get those numbers down a lot in the range of thousands at max. And I can have a very stable. Like every time I am creating 10,000 sprites in 1 million sprites, and then I'm rendering 1 million sprites. I'm not reusing them. So because the data transfer is like almost I'm doing the same speed as data transfer. Right? The rendering time, the data transfer is taking almost the same amount of time. So it's a good balance, right? The both the data transfer and the rendering. Like data creation plus transfer is taking same time as rendering. So it's a good thing. So if we can have both in parallel, and like I can we can get some things. Yeah. So that's I think it for today. We'll from next day we'll start like next day we'll immediately start on rendering the text. I have already told you like we'll be using this thing, this called like STL HTB lead. HTB. So here I will use this guy. Like I like all these I like very much. These are single header files. You don't need to do any kind of manual setup and everything. You can just take them and use them, right? And they are all in C. So yeah, they are compatible in C++ as well. And like, they have a huge star and following. And yeah. to the question that what I do currently, I don't want to take my company's name right now because that I am forbidden to do. It's such a enough company that I can say. But like one like uh, 3 or 4 months ago, I was working at a company called Nimblework, right? As in, and there I was doing something like one second. I think the name was Chiron. Yeah. So I was working on Chiron, I think. Yeah. So it was open source. So I don't say that like it's the best one. It's just like any other agentic platform. So they basically do like integration stuffs. So yeah, like they basically like the company that is in charge of Chiron, they basically do what do I say like project kind of thing, project planning kind of thing. But like I really work on Chiron. Like at some point of time, you can get my commits. You can see my commits. So one of the like nice things that I built in Chiron, one of the nice microservices that I built in Chiron, like one of them, I think was like multiplexing between like chatbot and the like human agent and the like the all the so this one is also like initially written by me, right? This if you see who wrote this, you'll find it with me. So yeah, this is what I do for like actually. It's just doing boring code, more of like integrating different APIs and less of doing other things. So one of the services that I wrote is this async callback, right? So the what is the idea is that having like a webhook kind of system, right? A reverse webhook kind of system for people who use their APIs from their APIs pushing message into Chiron users chat, right? They make some like yeah delivery food delivery kind of some like local apps they use Chiron. So to push their delivery status, they use the callback service. Right? This was initially written by me. This part, like this is the open source part, but the closed source part is also there, where there is that live agent thing that I told you, like between a human agent, a bot, and like hundreds of users. A single agent should be able to like converse with hundreds of users, and the bot and the agent keeps on switching with hundreds of users. Some users are sitting on Telegram, some users are sitting on WhatsApp, some users are sitting on maybe a web platform and so on. Yeah, but like one place I can show you for the proof that I work at Chiron, right? So if we go to the contributors now, you can see. Okay, GitHub sucks. Or do I need to be branching the latest data? Okay, so its pipeline is running. Maybe it's not cached. So this thing, right? How it feels like you post anything and it uploads into Instagram or any other platform suddenly. So what happens is that you start on caching things.